everyone, and welcome to the college football edition of Proline as we gear up for the weekend with some great rivalry games out there, a lot of them with some big meaning in this weekend's college football slate. We're going to go through a couple of the best games, Mississippi State taking on Texas A&M, and the showdown in the SEC, LSU at Alabama. Lots of other things to tell you about as well. John Cranton is here. Mike Scallion is here. I'm Dave Koken. We'll hear from Jeff Saad in a little bit as well with a free selection, and he'll be doing our Man in the Street segment this weekend. Let's start it off, though, by getting you up to date with what's happening this weekend as far as promotions are concerned. Mike, let's start with you. You've got some good stuff that's going to be up at jimfeist.com.
Yes, I do, Dave. I have my NFL 3-game package for $30, and then I come back Saturday with my SEC game of the year for just $25. Coming off last Saturday's Georgia Tech cover against the spread against Pittsburgh. You can look for me, Mike Scallion, on jimfeist.com. Plenty of winners on there, and we hope you cash your tickets. All right,
I've got some football to talk about. Now, I'll have college basketball this weekend. I'm ready to go with that, and there's an enormous schedule. So lots of games to choose from. I'm not going to play them all, obviously. I'm going to look for the best spots, and hopefully the preseason homework I've done will pay off with some easy winners. But that doesn't mean I'm forgetting about football. And I've got two big games, a big rivalry game of the year going on Saturday in the colleges, and following that up with my AFC game of the year, first conference game of the year in the NFL going on Sunday. Had some big winners last weekend on the top plays. Looking forward to doing that again this weekend. And a bonus football winner tonight. If you call to sign up for this package, it's only $15 for all 3 games. And the number to call is 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. When you call, make sure and ask about my college basketball early bird special as well. And that's exactly what Jim Feist has going. A monster weekend in football and basketball, John, for a very low price.
Yeah, that's right. Last Saturday, Jim hit his revenge game of the month in college football. That was Michigan State as they clobbered Michigan. He's got you can play through Monday night with Jim. College basketball will start Friday, so you're going to get college basketball, pro basketball, college football, and the NFL right through Monday night. Plays every day with Jim Feist for $20, including his Big Ten game of the month going Saturday, 1-866-841-1655.
I want to also throw in a mention of Mr. Vegas. Big weekend coming up for Mr. Vegas. NFL Sunday night game of the year. 2 college games of the month. 3 big games for only $19. The number to call to get those games is 1-866-841-1627. That's 1-866-841-1627. Well, guys, let's get started with Mississippi State and Texas A&M. John, put you in the leadoff spot here as the Bulldogs take on the Aggies down in College Station. I think this might be a fairly explosive game on Saturday.
Yeah, I like Dan Mullen, and I love the offense that they run. And the last couple of years, they've had a terrific defense. We haven't seen a great defense this year, but it's been good enough, giving up 24.3 points per game. The problem with Mississippi State, though, is they just haven't got it done on the road. 0-3 straight up, 1-2 against the spread. And last week, 4 turnovers against South Carolina, 5 turnovers, actually. Probably would have been closer without that. So it's difficult to handicap where turnovers are going to be. But overall, I like the offense of this team. It's balanced. They average 240 yards passing per game. They can run the football almost 200 yards per game. They've always done that under Dave Mullen. And the spread trends are not really in their favor, as they're only 2-7 ATS in SEC games, and the Bulldogs are 4-10 in the last 14 games overall. However, it's a big number to be backing a public team like Texas A&M. And the thing about the Aggies to keep in mind is they're not a good defensive team. They're giving up 29.8 points per game. That's 80th in the nation, and that's common with Kevin Sumlin. The guy loves to draft or recruit speed for his offensive attacks, and there's nobody better in the country at drafting or recruiting offensive players. But, boy, he really hasn't paid much attention to defense when he was at Houston and now at A&M. And I also think that this is going to be an angry spot because A&M whipped him 38-13 last year, and Mullen's comments after the game were, hey, that's as bad a performance as we've ever had since I've been here at Mississippi State. So I got to believe Mississippi State, with their good offense, balanced offense, and a chip on their shoulder, I think they can stay within this very big number. Mike?
Well, it's not one of my plays, John, but I disagree here. I lean to the Aggies. I mean, they're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 home games. Manziel loves to be like he's like Showtime with like Magic was in basketball. I mean, he wants to throw the ball all over the place. They beat him last year on the road by 25. Now you're coming home. I know it's a high number. I'm not a big high number favorite kind of guy. I usually lean to the short lines with the dogs or a short favorite, but my opinion would be to go with A&M. Like I said, though, it's not going to be one of my plays this week.
I'll break the tie. I'm going to side with you on this one, John. Here's why. First off, it doesn't quite make it, but just barely misses on a stat angle that I like, which is a team that rushes for 200 yards or more a game against the team, getting points against the team that gives up more than 200 yards per game on the ground. Mississippi State is just under the 200 with their running game. A&M's just barely over the 200 with theirs. So it kind of fits on that. But more importantly, when there's a circus-like atmosphere, I think it can be a distraction. And I think you're going to have that in this game. This is the final home game for Texas A&M, which means it's the final home game for Johnny Manziel. He's not going to be back there next year. And I think this is going to be just one of those carnival-like extravaganzas in College Station. A&M, their main focus in this game is going to be to get Johnny Football as many looks as possible. He's going to get him, too. And look, Mississippi State's no bargain themselves defensively, so he's going to get his points here. But I think Mississippi State's also going to be able to get their points. You mentioned it. A&M's defense is lousy, okay? To me, it's just a question of whether you're talking about A&M getting over 50 points in the game. If they do that, well, maybe they'll cover and the game goes over. But Mississippi State might be able to keep them in the 40s, and if they can do that, I think you're looking at a situation where, with the number as high as it is, you're going to have a decent chance to cover. This probably won't make my card. If I had to make a number in the game, I think the right number is about 17. It's about 19 right now, so I think there's a couple of points of value with the Mississippi State side. But I do think that this is a game the public is going to be on A&M as, more attention gets paid to the fact that it is the last home game for Johnny Football. I think you'll get public firing in on the Aggie side. You might even get this game to go to 20 on Saturday, and if it does that, I might give a little more consideration to Mississippi State. But as far as an opinion is concerned on the show, I will go with the Bulldogs plus the points. We're going to check in with our man on the street right now. That's Jeff Saad. John, did you want to jump in?
You think Johnny Manziel's off to the NFL after this year?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, why would he stay?
Well, I hope he likes the weather in Jacksonville.
Oh, no, he won't be the first overall pick. No chance he'll be the first overall pick. I don't even know if he goes first round. His NFL skill set is questionable. I'm seeing him projected as anywhere from late first to third. So he's not going to be the first pick. The first pick's going to be Clowney. Clowney's the one who's going to have to get used to Jacksonville. And Bridgewood will be the first quarterback taken. So as far as Jeff Saad's joining us right now. He's our man in the street. Jeff's got a free NFL total and a great offer this weekend as well. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, guys. Got a free pick coming up in the NFL, but first it's week 11 of college football, and I've got a blockbuster Saturday special, a 5-play college countdown, including my blowout game of the year and early kickoff. All 5 plays are $25 with a guarantee, 4-1 or 5-0, or the rest of November is free. Sign up early and get a bonus TV winner tonight. Call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916. Free play comes the NFL on Sunday. The Texans and Cardinals meet in Arizona. Quarterback Carson Palmer is past his prime, but he has upgraded the Arizona passing attack, 221 yards per game. They're on a 2-1 run over the total after a 27-13 win over Atlanta, as the offense had 348 yards. But the Arizona secondary ranks 23rd against the pass, plus Houston QB Case Keenum looks pretty good with 4 TDs and no picks his last 2 games against tough defenses, Indy and KC. He faces a Houston team that is 5-3 over the total, including the last game, a 27-24 loss at home. Took the Texans and the Cardinals to go over the total. Once again, I've got a blockbuster Saturday special, a 5-play college countdown, including my blowout game of the year and early kickoff. All 5 plays are $25 with a guarantee, 4-1 or 5-0, or the rest of November is free. Sign up early and get a bonus TV winner. Call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jeff. Have another good weekend. And we will move on to the the free plays portion of the show, where we tell you how you can get free plays on a text message from both Jim Feist and myself on a daily basis. Of course, this comes in handy with basketball and hockey taking place in addition to football. You can get mine by texting Kokin, C-O-K-I-N, to 313131, and you'll immediately get back that day's free play. Same thing with Jim. You just text WINNER, W-I-N-N-E-R, to 313131, and you get back a free play every day from world champion handicapper Jim Feist. Okay, LSU at Alabama. Mike, let's put you in the number one hole here. The Bayou Bengals and the Tigers, this is always big stuff. Listen, if Alabama's going to lose a game, I guess you probably look at this one as a good possibility, but it's a big number. LSU's getting 11 points this football game right now. Kind of tells you the Tigers not quite at the level they've been the last couple of years.
You're absolutely right, Dave. Like I was saying to John earlier, it's a big number. It reminds me of Florida State Miami last week, 22 points. You know, they got to make these numbers high sometime to get the people to go with, you know, like they went with Miami, I'm sure, figuring 3 touchdowns was enough, and it was not. And now you go where at 11 points, you're talking about 2 scores. I mean, you're going to have people leaning towards LSU. I believe, you know, it's these teams have had 2 weeks to prepare. The under's 4-0 in the last 4 meetings. Alabama plays a lot of under games at home, and 55 to me is a high total in this game. I would look towards the under in this in a battle, but I can't lean towards LSU. I think the number's 11 for a reason.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that, even though I'm going to kind of disagree with it. I think that the extra prep time is going to help LSU in terms of coming up with something to limit Alabama's offense. LSU's not going to score a lot of this defense. Nobody does. And that's what makes it a tough bet. I doubt very much. In fact, I'm almost positive that I won't be involved in this game as an actual selection. But I do think LSU is still good enough to make this a contest, and they're getting 11. If it was 10, I probably would just pass it completely, but 11, I think there's just barely enough value there to look at the LSU side. Not going to be strong, but, LSU is still a top 15 team. And if I can get double digits with a top 15 team, I'm generally going to take it. Now, I didn't last week. If you watched last week's Proline, I liked Florida State. I liked them, substantially in that football game. But the reason I said was I think Miami is barely a top 25 team. I think they were very overrated and had a phony record. I don't think LSU is a phony top 15 team. I think they're legitimate. That's the power of the SEC. And I therefore would say that the right way to play here, again, not strong, but opinion would be LSU plus the 11. And if it goes up from there, as it increasingly goes up, if it does, then my opinion would increase as well. So I'm not going to play Alabama in the game, John. But I'll tell you what, it's really scary going against that team. They're just fantastic.
They sure are. Here's a game where both teams have had 2 weeks to prepare this marquee game. And if you stand any chance at all of hanging with Alabama, you have to have a talented, balanced offense or some kind of powerhouse defense. LSU does have a combination of all of that. Last year with Zach Mettenberger, he was a junior, very erratic. Now, he did have his best game of the year against Bama, the number one defensive team last year, but he was very inconsistent and erratic much of last season.
Yeah.
That inconsistency has gone away. He's been very good this year as a senior, 19 touchdowns, 7 picks. They have great balance on offense with 200 yards rushing and averaging 40 points per game with the passing attack that Mettenberger is giving them. And then the defense, 21.9 points per game. They've been very good. So Les Miles has the type of talent that could hang within a big number like this. When these teams meet, the road team is 13-4-1 against the spread, and the Tigers are 6-1-1 ATS the last meetings in Alabama. It's tough to go against Alabama with all their depth and talent. They're going to be up for this game. But this may surprise people. When the Crimson Tide come off a bye week, they're only 3-7 against the spread. So, Dave, I'll kind of lean with you. I would go toward a lean toward the big underdog in this one.
All right, let's get to, before we get to the best bets, let's check in with our other man on the street. We've got something from Mr. Vegas that we can go to right now, and he's got an NFL pick for us.
Thanks, guys. This is John Cranton on the Vegas Strip. I got a free pick in the NFL coming up. But first, Mr. Vegas steps up with 3 monster football plays this weekend, all 3 for $19. His 2 college games of the month going Saturday, and his NFL Sunday night game of the year, all 3 for $19. That NFL play is $50 alone online. You can get all 3 at 1-866-896-1627. If you sign up early, you get a bonus TV winner from Mr. Vegas. Now, your free play on Sunday in the NFL, you got the Seattle Seahawks in Atlanta to play the Falcons. Now, the Falcons, they're a mess. They can't stop the run on defense, 20th against the run. They're also 19th defensively against the pass. On offense, they're dead last in rushing the football. That puts more pressure on quarterback Matt Ryan, who's struggling. 15 touchdowns, 10 picks. Falcons just 2-5 against the spread at home. And while they're 2-2 straight up at home, Seattle's 4-1 on the road with that great ground attack. 5th in the NFL in rushing, behind Marshawn Lynch and quarterback Russell Wilson. Also, remember, this is a revenge game as Seattle suffered a bitter last-second playoff defeat here in January. The Seahawks are 20-8 against the spread on field turf, and the last 9 road games, they're 7-2 against the spread. Your free play on Sunday, take the angry Seattle Seahawks. And remember, Mr. Vegas has 3 monster plays this weekend, all 3 for $19, 2 college games of the month Saturday, and his NFL Sunday night game of the year. 3 plays for $19, 1-866-896-1627.
All right, let's wrap it up with best bets. It can be any game in the schedule, the ones we talked about as well. I will go back to the Mississippi State-Oklahoma State game. Again, I just think you've got a possible situation where there may be more focus on the individual than the team this weekend, with this being the swan song for Manziel in College Station. So I'm going to side with Mississippi State to get there plus the points. I don't think there's much chance they'll win the football game. But, you know, you can always get the back door here, too. Even though Mississippi State doesn't have a good quarterback, you don't need one to get to score in A&M. And I think Mississippi State at least covers the spread in this game, but A&M will get the win. So I would not recommend the money line call on that game. Big weekend with college basketball underway, NBA, NHL, and 2 big games in football. Rivalry game of the year on Saturday, AFC conference game of the year on Sunday in the NFL. Hit the big stuff last weekend, going to do it again this weekend. Sign up early and get a bonus football winner that goes tonight. So it's 3 games for $15 at 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. Mike, how about a best bet from you? And a recap of what you got going at JimFeist.com.
Yeah, Dave, my best bet, I'll go with that LSU-Alabama game under the total of 55. I figured they've had a couple weeks to prepare for it. It's a big number. I mean, you know, I know Alabama, I mean, on occasion they can score some points, but these defenses are strong. I look for, you know, you're talking about a lot of points in a college game. This isn't Baylor and Oregon, you know, where they score 55 themselves. So I would lean toward the under with the 55. And, yeah, my plays are up right now on JimFeist.com. If you go there, you'll get my SEC game of the year this Saturday for just $25. And Sunday I have a 3-pack of NFL games for $30 at JimFeist.com. Last week I hit with Miami Thursday night against Cincinnati, and I had Cleveland Sunday. So I had 2 home underdogs that won outright, and we look to repeat this Sunday with my 3-pack NFL for just $30.
John, you can tell us what you like for the best bet, and you can also tell us about a monster offer that Jim Feist has, which is going to encompass everything this weekend.
That's right. Let's look at LSU, Alabama. Look at the defensive numbers. LSU giving up 21.9 points per game, and Alabama number 1 in the nation, 9.18 points per game. If you add those numbers up, this total for the game is almost double that, so I will take as a best bet LSU, Alabama under the total in the last 4 meetings between these teams, 4-0 under. Jim Feist, you can play with him through Monday. That's going to be pro basketball, college basketball, pro football, and college football for $20. All that through Monday night with Jim Feist for $20. 1-866-841-1655.
And that is going to wrap up the college edition of Proline. But don't forget, we've got the NFL edition as well. We wanted to make sure and watch both shows every week, get opinions from some of the best analysts around, and hopefully take advantage of the offers that we've got as well. We think they'll put money in your pocket. For Jeff Side and Jim Feist, for John Creighton and Mike Scallion, I'm Dave Coker. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll do it again next week.